In the heart of Africa, the village of Kumba thrived under the protection of the night sky. The people of Kumba lived in harmony with nature, their lives intertwined with the rhythm of the seasons and the cycles of the moon. They believed that the stars held the spirits of their ancestors, watching over them from above. The villagers gathered every night around the central fire, telling stories of old, where the stars were not just points of light, but beings with thoughts and feelings. The moon was considered the Great Mother, and the stars her children, guiding the villagers through the dark of night. This belief gave the people of Kumba a deep sense of connection with the universe. Among the villagers was a young hunter named Sunjata. Tall and strong, with eyes that mirrored the depth of the night sky, Sunjata was beloved by all. He was known not only for his bravery and skill in hunting, but also for his kind heart. He often helped the elderly, brought food to the needy, and protected the village from wild animals. Sunjata's days were filled with the thrill of the hunt, but his nights were spent in quiet contemplation. He would sit under the great baobab tree, gazing up at the stars, feeling a pull he could not explain. Though he loved his life, a part of him felt incomplete, as if something or someone was missing. One night, as Sunjata lay under the stars, he fell into a deep sleep. In his dream, he found himself in a place unlike any he had ever seen. The sky was brighter, the stars closer, and a gentle breeze carried the scent of jasmine. In this dreamscape, a beautiful maiden appeared before him, her eyes shimmering like the stars, her smile lighting up the darkness. "Who are you?" Sunjata asked, his voice echoing in the stillness. The maiden's voice was like a melody, soft and entrancing. "I am Soraya," she said, her gaze holding his. "I have watched you from the heavens, and my heart has been drawn to yours." Sunjata reached out to her, but she faded away, leaving him with a longing he had never felt before. When Sunjata awoke, the dream lingered in his mind. He could still hear Soraya's voice, feel her presence. It was as if she were a part of him now, a part he could not let go of. He tried to shake off the feeling, telling himself it was just a dream, but his heart told him otherwise. He felt a deep, inexplicable connection to Soraya, as if they were destined to be together. Sunjata went about his daily tasks, but his mind kept drifting back to the dream. The maiden's face, her eyes, her voice, they haunted him. He knew he had to find out if she was real, if the connection he felt was more than just a figment of his imagination. With determination, Sunjata decided to seek answers from the village elder, the wisest man in Kumba. The village elder lived in a small hut at the edge of Kumba, surrounded by ancient scrolls and mystical herbs. He was a man of great wisdom, respected by all. Sunjata approached him, bowing respectfully before speaking. "Elder, I have had a dream," Sunjata began, his voice filled with a mix of hope and uncertainty. "A dream of a maiden from the stars. I feel a connection to her, but I do not understand what it means." The elder listened intently, his eyes narrowing in thought. "Dreams are the language of the spirits," he said finally. "They can reveal truths that the waking mind cannot see. Tell me more about this maiden." Sunjata described Soraya, her starry eyes, her enchanting voice, and the deep longing he felt for her. The elder nodded, his expression growing serious. The elder began to tell Sunjata an ancient legend, one passed down through generations. "Long ago," he said, "the stars were free to roam the earth. They fell in love with mortals, and from these unions, great heroes were born. But the Star King, ruler of the celestial beings, grew jealous. He forbade the stars from descending to earth, declaring that their love for mortals would lead to chaos. Those who defied the Star King were punished," the elder continued. "Their light dimmed, and they were cast out of the sky. The love between a star and a mortal is a powerful force, one that can bring both great joy and great sorrow. Perhaps the maiden in your dream is a star, and your love is a remnant of those ancient times. Sunjata listened to the elder's tale, his heart pounding with excitement and fear. If Soraya was truly a star, then their love was not only forbidden but dangerous. Yet, the thought of never seeing her again, never feeling the warmth of her presence, was unbearable. Sunjata knew he had to find Soraya, to know if their love was real. With the elder's words echoing in his mind, Sunjata made his decision. He would go to the sacred hill where the earth met the sky, a place said to bridge the mortal and celestial worlds. There, he hoped to find Soraya and prove that their love was meant to be, no matter the cost. The sacred hill stood on the outskirts of Kamba, a place of power and mystery. It was said that on this hill, the veil between the worlds was thin, allowing mortals to glimpse the secrets of the heavens. Sunjata climbed the hill, his heart filled with a mixture of hope and fear. As he reached the top, he felt a strange energy in the air, a tingling sensation that made his skin prickle. Sunjata looked up at the night sky, his eyes searching for Soraya. The stars twinkled brightly, and the moon cast a silver glow over the hill. Sunjata closed his eyes, reaching out with his heart, calling for Soraya. "Soraya," he whispered, his voice barely audible. "If you are real, come to me. I need to know." As Sunjata stood on the hill, a soft, glowing light began to descend from the sky. It was Soraya, her form shimmering like a star. She landed before Sunjata, her eyes shining with the light of 1,000 stars. "You called for me," she said, her voice like the wind, gentle and soothing. Sunjata's heart leaped with joy. "Soraya," he breathed, reaching out to her. "I knew you were real. I felt our connection, even in my dreams." Soraya smiled, her eyes filled with warmth. "I have watched you from the heavens," she said. "I have seen your kindness, your bravery, your love for your people. My heart has been drawn to yours, just as yours has been drawn to mine." Sunjata and Soraya stood facing each other, the air around them charged with energy. Slowly, hesitantly, Sunjata reached out to touch Soraya's hand. As their fingers met, a surge of warmth flowed through him, filling him with a sense of peace and belonging. Soraya's touch was like the light of the stars, gentle and soothing, yet powerful and eternal. For a moment, they stood in silence, their hearts beating as one. The connection between them was undeniable, a bond that transcended the boundaries of their worlds. They were meant to be together, despite the dangers, despite the forbidden nature of their love. In that moment, nothing else mattered but the love they felt for each other. Sunjata and Soraya spent the night on the sacred hill, sharing their stories, their dreams, their hopes. They spoke of their worlds, so different yet so similar. Sunjata told Soraya of his life in Kamba, of the people he loved, the hunts he enjoyed, the simple pleasures of life on earth. Soraya spoke of the stars, of the beauty of the night sky, of the mysteries of the universe. Their love grew with each passing moment, a love that was pure and true. They knew that their time together was limited, that the Star King would not allow their love to flourish. But in that moment, under the light of the moon, they were content. They had found each other, against all odds, and that was enough. Unbeknownst to Sunjata and Soraya, a jealous star had been watching them. This star, envious of Soraya's beauty and the love she shared with Sunjata, decided to reveal their secret to the Star King. The jealous star knew that the Star King would not tolerate such a forbidden love, and hoped to see Soraya punished, her light dimmed, her love destroyed. The jealous star made its way to the celestial court, eager to share its tale. It reveled in the thought of Soraya's downfall, imagining the sorrow and pain she would feel. The jealous star did not understand the power of love, the strength of the bond between Sunjata and Soraya. It saw only an opportunity to bring misery to another, blinded by its own envy and spite. The Star King sat on his throne, a figure of immense power and authority. His eyes blazed with the light of 1,000 suns, his presence commanding respect and fear. The jealous star approached, bowing low before the Star King. "Your Majesty," the star began, its voice trembling with excitement. "I bring news of a grave transgression." The Star King listened as the jealous star told of Soraya's descent to earth, of her love for a mortal. His face darkened with anger, his eyes narrowing in fury. "Soraya has defied my decree," he said, his voice echoing through the celestial court. "She has betrayed the stars, betrayed me. She must be punished." Soraya stood on the sacred hill, her heart heavy with the knowledge of the Star King's wrath. She had felt the disturbance in the celestial realm, the anger of the Star King. She knew that her time with Sunjata was limited, that the Star King would soon call for her. Yet, she did not regret her love for Sunjata. It was a love that filled her with joy, a love that made her feel alive. As she stood there, a voice echoed in her mind, the voice of the Star King. "Soraya," he called, his tone cold and unforgiving. "Return to the sky at once. You have defied my decree, and you must answer for your actions." Soraya's heart ached, but she knew she could not disobey the Star King. She turned to Sunjata, her eyes filled with sorrow. "I must go," she said, her voice trembling. Sunjata's heart sank as Soraya spoke. He could see the pain in her eyes, the fear of losing their love. "Soraya," he said, his voice filled with determination, "I will not let them take you from me. I will find a way to be with you, no matter what." Soraya looked at him, her eyes filled with love. "I believe in you, Sunjata," she said. "But you must be careful. The Star King is powerful, and he will not hesitate to punish those who defy him." Sunjata took Soraya's hand, his grip firm and reassuring. "I will do whatever it takes," he said. "Our love is worth any sacrifice." Soraya nodded, a tear slipping down her cheek. "I will wait for you," she said. "No matter how long it takes, I will wait." With that, she ascended to the sky, her form fading into the light of the stars. Soraya entered the Star King's court, her head bowed in submission. The Star King sat on his throne, his eyes blazing with anger. "You have defied me, Soraya," he said, his voice echoing through the court. "You have brought shame upon the stars, upon me. Do you have anything to say for yourself?" Soraya lifted her head, her eyes meeting the Star King's. "I am in love, Your Majesty," she said, her voice steady. "I love Sunjata and he loves me. Our love is pure, and I will not deny it." The Star King's face darkened, his eyes narrowing. "Love," he scoffed. "What do you know of love? You are a star, a celestial being. Your duty is to the heavens, not to some mortal on earth." The Star King stood, his presence towering over Soraya. "You will end this foolishness," he declared. "You will return to your place in the sky, and you will forget this mortal. If you disobey, you will be cast out of the heavens, your light dimmed forever." Soraya's heart ached at the thought of losing her place among the stars, but the thought of losing Sunjata was even more painful. "I cannot," Soraya said, her voice trembling. "I cannot forget him. Our love is too strong, too powerful." The Star King's eyes blazed with fury. "Then you leave me no choice," he said. "If you will not end this, then I will end it for you. I will give the mortal a chance to prove his love, but if he fails, you will be cast out, and he will be destroyed." The Star King called for Sunjata, his voice echoing through the heavens. Sunjata stood on the sacred hill, his heart filled with determination. He knew that the Star King would not let their love go unchallenged, but he was ready to face whatever trials lay ahead. He would prove his love for Soraya, no matter the cost. The Star King appeared before Sunjata, his presence overwhelming. "You dare to defy me, mortal," he said, his voice cold. "You dare to love a star?" Sunjata met the Star King's gaze, his eyes filled with resolve. "I love Soraya," he said, "and I will do whatever it takes to be with her." The Star King nodded, a cruel smile playing on his lips. "Very well," he said. "You will face 3 trials. If you succeed, you will have my blessing. If you fail, both you and Soraya will pay the price." The first trial was to cross the river of time, a river that flowed through the past, present, and future. The river was said to hold the secrets of time, showing visions of what was, what is, and what could be. Sunjata stood at the river's edge, his heart pounding. He knew that crossing the river would not be easy, but he was determined to succeed. As he stepped into the river, the waters swirled around him, showing him visions of the past. He saw his childhood, his family, his village. He saw the moments that had shaped him, the choices that had led him to this moment. The river then showed him the present, the love he felt for Soraya, the bond they shared. Finally, the river showed him the future, a future filled with happiness, but also with pain and sacrifice. As Sunjata waded through the river of time, he saw visions of Soraya. He saw her standing by his side, her eyes filled with love. He saw their future together, a future filled with joy and sorrow, with challenges and triumphs. He saw the sacrifices they would have to make, the battles they would have to fight. But he also saw the happiness they would share, the love that would endure. The river's waters whispered to Sunjata, telling him of the fleeting nature of life, the importance of love and loyalty. Sunjata listened, his heart filled with understanding. He knew that love was not always easy, that it required sacrifice and courage. But he also knew that love was worth fighting for, worth any sacrifice. With this newfound wisdom, Sunjata crossed the river, ready to face the next trial. The second trial was to climb the Mountain of Shadows, a mountain that towered over the land, its peak hidden in the clouds. The mountain was said to hold the fears of those who climbed it, manifesting their deepest insecurities and doubts. Sunjata stood at the base of the mountain, his heart pounding with anticipation. He knew that this trial would test his courage, but he was ready. As Sunjata climbed the mountain, shadows began to swirl around him, taking shape and form. He saw visions of his greatest fears, the fear of losing Soraya, the fear of failing, the fear of being alone. The shadows whispered to him, taunting him, trying to break his resolve. But Sunjata did not waver. He faced each fear head-on, his heart filled with determination. The shadows grew darker, more menacing, as Sunjata climbed higher. They showed him visions of Soraya being taken from him, of her light fading, of their love being destroyed. The sight filled Sunjata with fear, his heart aching at the thought of losing Soraya. But he knew that he could not let his fears control him. He had to be strong, for Soraya, for their love. Sunjata took a deep breath, his heart steadying. He faced the shadows, his voice firm. "I am not afraid," he said. "I will not let fear rule me. My love for Soraya is stronger than any fear. I will face whatever comes, and I will not give up." With those words, the shadows began to fade, the darkness lifting. Sunjata had faced his fears and emerged victorious. The third and final trial was to navigate the forest of truth, a forest that revealed the hidden truths of those who entered. The forest was said to be a place of honesty, where lies could not hide and truths were laid bare. Sunjata stood at the edge of the forest, his heart pounding with anticipation. He knew that this trial would test his honesty, his integrity, but he was ready. As Sunjata entered the forest, he felt a strange energy in the air, a sense of clarity and truth. The trees whispered to him, revealing secrets, uncovering hidden truths. Sunjata saw visions of his past, the mistakes he had made, the regrets he held. The forest showed him the truth of who he was, of the choices he had made. Sunjata walked through the forest of truth, his mind filled with the revelations of his past. He saw his flaws, his weaknesses, the moments when he had faltered. But he also saw his strengths, his kindness, his bravery. He saw the love he felt for Soraya, a love that was pure and true. The forest showed him the truth of his heart, the depth of his love. Sunjata embraced the truths he saw, accepting his flaws, his mistakes, his regrets. He knew that he was not perfect, that he had made mistakes, but he also knew that he was capable of love, of sacrifice, of courage. He knew that his love for Soraya was real, that it was worth any challenge, any trial. With a heart full of truth, Sunjata emerged from the forest, ready to face the Star King. Sunjata stood before the Star King, his heart filled with the wisdom he had gained from the trials. The Star King looked at him, his eyes filled with a mixture of anger and curiosity. "You have completed the trials," the Star King said, his voice echoing through the heavens. "You have proven your love for Soraya. But love alone is not enough. You must prove that you are worthy of her." Sunjata met the Star King's gaze, his eyes filled with resolve. "I love Soraya," he said. "I am willing to do whatever it takes to be with her. I have faced my fears, embraced the truth, and crossed the river of time. I am ready to face any challenge, to make any sacrifice for her." The Star King nodded, a thoughtful look on his face. "Very well," he said. "I will give you one more chance to prove your worth." The Star King summoned Soraya, his voice commanding. "Soraya," he said, his tone serious, "you will descend to the mortal world one last time. You will spend 1 month with Sunjata. If at the end of that time you still wish to be together, I will grant you my blessing. But if you choose to stay, you will be bound to the mortal world, your light dimmed, your life shortened." Soraya looked at Sunjata, her eyes filled with love. "I will take the risk," she said. "I will spend the month with Sunjata, and at the end, we will decide our fate together." The Star King nodded, his face impassive. "Very well," he said. "The month begins now." Sunjata and Soraya spent their days together, exploring the beauty of the mortal world. They walked through the fields, swam in the rivers, and lay under the stars, their hearts filled with joy. They spoke of their dreams, their hopes, their fears. They laughed, they cried, they loved. Each day was a gift, each moment a treasure. They knew that their time was limited, that the decision they would have to make was drawing closer. But they did not dwell on the future. They lived in the moment, cherishing each second they had together. Their love grew stronger with each passing day, a love that was pure, true, and eternal. As the month drew to a close, Sunjata and Soraya felt the weight of their decision pressing upon them. They knew that they would have to choose, to stay together, bound to the mortal world, or to part, with Soraya returning to the sky. The choice was not easy, and the fear of losing each other weighed heavily on their hearts. Sunjata held Soraya close, his heart aching with the thought of losing her. "I cannot bear the thought of being without you," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "But I cannot ask you to give up your place among the stars, to dim your light for me." Soraya looked at him, her eyes filled with love. "I would give up anything for you," she said. "But I do not want you to suffer. I do not want you to live with the burden of my sacrifice." Sunjata and Soraya sought the counsel of the village elder, hoping to find wisdom in his words. The elder listened to their story, his eyes filled with understanding. "Love is a powerful force," he said. "It can bring great joy, but it can also bring great sorrow. The choice you must make is not an easy one, but it is a choice that only you can make." The elder spoke of the importance of love, of the sacrifices that come with it. He spoke of the bond between Sunjata and Soraya, a bond that transcended the boundaries of their worlds. Whatever choice you make, he said, know that your love is true. It is a love that will endure, no matter the outcome. On the night before their decision, Sunjata and Soraya sat under the great baobab tree, their hearts heavy with the weight of their choice. They held each other close, their love filling the air around them. They spoke of their memories, of the moments they had shared, of the love that had brought them together. They knew that the decision they made would change their lives forever, but they also knew that their love was worth any sacrifice. They made a promise to each other, a promise to love, no matter what. As they held each other, they felt a sense of peace, a sense of certainty. They knew that their love was stronger than any challenge, stronger than any trial. The morning came, and Sunjata and Soraya stood before the Star King, their hearts filled with resolve. The Star King looked at them, his eyes filled with curiosity. "Have you made your decision?" he asked, his voice calm. Sunjata and Soraya looked at each other, their eyes filled with love. "We have," Sunjata said, his voice steady. "We choose to be together." The Star King nodded, a thoughtful look on his face. "Very well," he said. "Your choice is made. Soraya, you will be bound to the mortal world, your light dimmed. Sunjata, you will share in her fate, your lives entwined." Sunjata and Soraya held each other, their hearts filled with joy. They had made their choice, and they would face the future together. The Star King raised his hands, his voice chanting the ancient words of the binding ritual. A soft, glowing light surrounded Sunjata and Soraya, enveloping them in its warmth. The light filled their hearts, their souls, binding them together for all eternity. They felt a sense of peace, a sense of belonging, a sense of love. The light dimmed, and Sunjata and Soraya stood before the Star King, their hearts beating as one. They were bound together, their lives entwined, their love eternal. The Star King looked at them, his eyes filled with a strange emotion. "You have proven your love," he said, his voice soft. "You have shown that love can conquer all." Sunjata and Soraya returned to Kumba, their hearts filled with joy. They were together, bound by love, ready to face the future. They knew that their lives would not be easy, that they would face challenges and trials, but they also knew that their love was strong, stronger than any obstacle. They built a life together, a life filled with love, laughter, and joy. They had children who inherited their parents' love of the stars, their connection to the heavens. They told their children the story of their love, a love that had defied the stars, a love that had conquered all. The people of Kumba rejoiced at the return of Sunjata and Soraya. They welcomed them with open arms, celebrating their love, their courage, their determination. The village elders spoke of the power of love, of the importance of courage, of the strength of the human spirit. The villagers danced and sang, their hearts filled with joy. Sunjata and Soraya stood in the center of the celebration, their hands intertwined, their hearts beating as one. They looked at each other, their eyes filled with love, their souls connected. They knew that their love had brought them to this moment, a moment of happiness, a moment of triumph. They knew that their love was a gift that they would cherish for all eternity. As the celebration continued, a soft, glowing light descended from the sky. The villagers gasped in awe as the light took shape, revealing the Star King. He stood before Sunjata and Soraya, his eyes filled with a strange emotion. "You have proven your love," he said, his voice soft. "You have shown that love can conquer all. I have come to offer you a gift." The Star King raised his hands, a soft, glowing light surrounding Sunjata and Soraya. "I will grant you the gift of eternity," he said. "Your love will endure. Your light will never fade. You will be a beacon of hope, a symbol of love, a reminder that love is the greatest power of all." Sunjata and Soraya felt the warmth of the Star King's gift, a gift of eternal love. They knew that their love would endure, that it would be a light in the darkness, a beacon of hope. They knew that their love was a gift that would never fade, a gift that would last for all eternity. They stood together, their hearts filled with joy, their souls connected. They knew that their love had defied the stars, that it had conquered all. They knew that their love was a gift that they would cherish for all eternity. They looked at each other, their eyes filled with love, their souls connected. They knew that their love was a gift that would last forever. Sunjata and Soraya became a legend, a story passed down through the generations. They were known as the Star of Love, a symbol of hope, of courage, of love. Their story was told to children, a story of a love that had defied the stars, a love that had conquered all. Their love was a light in the darkness, a beacon of hope, a reminder that love is the greatest power of all. Sunjata and Soraya were remembered for their courage, their determination, their love. They were a symbol of hope, a symbol of love, a symbol of the power of the human spirit. And so, the story of Sunjata and Soraya, the Star of Love, lived on, a story of a love that had defied the stars, a love that had conquered all, a love that would last for all eternity. As the years passed, the people of Kumba looked to the sky, to the stars, to the Star of Love. They knew that Sunjata and Soraya were watching over them, their love a light in the darkness, a beacon of hope. They knew that love was the greatest power of all, a power that could defy the stars, a power that could conquer all. And so, on starry nights, the people of Kumba would gather, looking to the sky, to the Star of Love. They would tell the story of Sunjata and Soraya, a story of a love that had defied the stars, a love that had conquered all. They would remember the power of love, the strength of the human spirit, the beauty of a love that would last for all eternity. Sunjata and Soraya's love had become a legend, their story a beacon of hope that shone across the land and through the heavens. Yet, as with all things of great beauty and light, their love attracted the attention of those who dwelled in the shadows, beings who thrived on envy and darkness. These beings, known as the shadows of the void, had long resented the light of the stars, and the love of Sunjata and Soraya, glowing brighter than any star, was an affront to their very existence. The shadows of the void were ancient, as old as the darkness between the stars. They were formless creatures, wisps of shadow that drifted through the void, feeding on despair, envy, and hatred. They could not bear the light, and they despised love, for love was a force they could never understand or possess. The love of Sunjata and Soraya was a thorn in their side, a light that pierced through the darkness of the void, reminding them of what they could never have. One night, as Soraya danced across the sky, her light illuminating the heavens, the shadows of the void gathered in the depths of the darkness. They watched her, their eyes gleaming with malice, their hearts filled with envy. They could feel the power of her love, a love that had defied the stars, a love that had conquered all. And they hated it. They hated her. They hated Sunjata. They hated the light of their love. They whispered among themselves, their voices a susurrus of malice. "We must destroy their love," they hissed. "We must snuff out their light. cast them into darkness. The shadows of the void devised a plan to destroy Sunjata and Soraya's love, to cast them into the void, where their light would be extinguished forever. They would use their powers of deception and illusion to sow doubt, to breed fear, to turn Sunjata and Soraya against each other. They would create a darkness so deep, a despair so profound, that not even their love could survive. One night, as Sunjata stood beneath the stars, gazing up at Soraya's light, the shadows of the void began to weave their dark magic. They whispered lies into Sunjata's ear, lies of betrayal, of doubt, of fear. "Soraya does not love you," they hissed. "She only pretends to keep her place among the stars. She longs for the heavens, not for you. Her light is fading, and she blames you." Sunjata's heart was strong, but the whispers of the shadows of the void were insidious, creeping into his mind, planting seeds of doubt. He tried to push the thoughts away, to hold on to the love he felt for Soraya, but the whispers persisted, their voices a constant murmur in his ear. At the same time, the shadows of the void turned their attention to Soraya, weaving illusions of betrayal, of deceit, of despair. They showed her visions of Sunjata with another, a beautiful mortal woman, laughing, embracing, his heart no longer hers. "He does not love you," they whispered. "He longs for the earth, for the mortals. He grows tired of your light, of your love. He wishes to be free, to live a life without you." Soraya's light flickered, her heart aching with the visions she saw, the words she heard. She tried to hold on to the love she felt for Sunjata, but the illusions were so real, so convincing, that she could not help but doubt. As the days passed, the shadows of the void's dark magic began to take its toll. Sunjata and Soraya, once so close, so connected, began to drift apart. The love that had once been so strong, so unbreakable, was now tainted with doubt, with fear, with mistrust. They no longer spoke as they once did, their words strained, their silences heavy. They no longer looked at each other with the same love, the same joy. The shadows of the void watched, their hearts filled with glee, as the light of Sunjata and Soraya's love began to fade. One night, as Soraya stood at the edge of the heavens, her light dim, her heart heavy, Sunjata approached her. His face was drawn, his eyes shadowed with doubt. "Soraya," he said, his voice strained, "do you still love me? Or do you long for the heavens, for the stars?" Soraya turned to him, her eyes filled with pain. "Sunjata," she said, her voice breaking, "do you still love me? Or do you long for the earth, for the mortals?" Their words hung in the air, heavy with the weight of their doubts, their fears. For a moment, it seemed as if the darkness would win, as if their love would be snuffed out, like a candle in the wind. But then a light appeared, a light so bright, so pure, that it pierced through the darkness, driving the shadows of the void back into the depths of the void. It was the light of the star of love, the star that the Star King had given them, a symbol of their love, a beacon of hope. The light of the star of love shone down upon Sunjata and Soraya, its warmth filling their hearts, its light driving away the darkness, the doubt, the fear. They looked at each other, their eyes filled with love, with understanding, with forgiveness. They knew then that their love was stronger than any darkness, any doubt. They knew that their love would endure, that it would shine bright, a beacon of hope, a light in the darkness. The shadows of the void, driven back into the depths of the void, hissed in anger, their plans foiled, their darkness defeated. They knew then that they could never destroy the love of Sunjata and Soraya, a love that was stronger than the stars, stronger than the heavens, stronger than the void itself. Sunjata and Soraya stood together, their hearts filled with love, their souls connected. They knew that they would face trials, that they would face darkness, but they also knew that their love would endure, that it would shine bright, a light in the darkness, a beacon of hope, a symbol of the power of the human spirit. And so, the story of Sunjata and Soraya, the star of love, continued, a story of a love that had defied the stars, a love that had conquered all, a love that would last for all eternity. Their love was a light in the darkness, a beacon of hope, a reminder that love is the greatest power of all.